So, yeah, getting away with it. I don't want you to think that I, in some way, support the work of Joseph Mengele. It's not where I'm going with this. Where I'm going with this, I'm just, for anybody who's listening, for anybody who wants to listen, for anyone who's concerned, anybody who thinks, maybe. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to this Bigfoot tale. What is it to me? What do I care whether this shit is real or fantasy? But will it be in my interest to just have a listen? Just have a listen to this possible scenario that may or may not have happened somewhere. Those people, those individuals who were part of that regime, that regimen, they played their part. They did what they did. You know, they greased the wheels. They put their, they put their shoulder to the, they put their shoulder to the graft and all that. They played their part. And then they got away with it. I was thinking the other day, there's a dear friend of mine, excuse me, and they're currently in the process of being made redundant. Within next month or so, they're going to be on dole, and or looking for another job, and or maybe hopefully, inshallah, they'll have another job. They'll be able to find another job. But they're going to be on dole there. They've done the graft. They've been working somewhere since they left school, and now they're not going to be. Those days are over. Anyway, well, I got thinking about the closure of the deep mines in the UK, and there were a documentary, the last, I think it's called The Last Miners, and it catalogues it documents the closing of Kellingley Colliery. And one at miners, towards the end there, they've got the last shift, and as they come off shift, they they change out the dirty clothes, get themselves showered, and get back into the civvies, and then leave site. Well, there's a big pile of clothes there and equipment. I think you have to carry like a rebreather, which is it's an air scrubber. You work in dark pit, there's a good chance you might get into a situation where there's no oxygen. So you've got this rebreather thing that you carry with you. And they've got all of the, accoutrements. And there's a big pile of them. One at miner says, look at that. It just represents all them people now out of work, all them lads out of work on scrap heap. And somebody makes a comment, aye, Cameron's government finished off the job that Thatcher started. Which is one way of looking at it. Yeah, Thatcher made damn sure she were going to smash the unions because of what the unions had done in the 60s and particularly the 70s. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. That happened. That were a thing. Absolutely. But 1984 was the miners' strike when they began to get rid of the NUM. When they began to close the pits down. It probably started prior to that, maybe, I don't know. But it were a nationalised industry. The government were paying for all that. The government were paying all those wages, paying for that product to come out of the ground. That was 1984, 40 years ago now. 40 years ago. Now, admittedly, we've had a Tory government, a big chunk of Toriness running place since then. We had Thatcher. We had Thatcher up to early knockings, 1990. 91. She was in power when the first Gulf War kicked off, but she wasn't in power when it came to an end. Because they, like I say, they got rid of her and put John Major. Put John Major in charge. And then they won another election. A similar thing, I suspect, as to what's going to happen with Rishi Sunak. They'll get rid of that Rishi Sunak. Whatever. They'll get rid of him and put some other puppet in place. But I suspect, well, like I said, I'm pretty confident we're going to get a Labour government by end of year. 2024. The closing stages of 2024 will see a Labour government elected to power. But anyway, back to me bollocks that I was talking. So you've got all that nastiness that went on in 1984 against the miners, against that industry. But then from 97, I think it was. I think it was 97. We had a Labour government, and they won by a landslide. Landslide. So they were in power for at least 2 terms with Tony Blair. Tony Blair there. The new Messiah. Anyway, they did nothing whatsoever to reinstate the coal mining industry. They did nothing. People forget that. As I say, Liz Truss running her mouth about the deep state. Shut that bitch up. Shut that motherfucker up. Fucking quickly. Yeah? You don't matter who. Don't matter a toss who we get fronting it. It's the deep state. The plan is come come away from that carbon dependency, that hydrocarbon dependency that we've been in for the last 100 years or more, and move to some other future. Yeah. What that future is going to be, I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not at liberty to tell you. And they'd shut me the fuck up. But yeah, Cameron finished the job that Thatcher started. You didn't get any help from your alleged socialist brethren. So there's a murkier fucking reality to it.